Roger Ailes died today. The founder of our network, our former CEO and chairman, husband to Beth, father of Zach, media genius, revolutionary in American politics, shaper of American history, uproariously funny man with now well-documented flaws, fell at his home in Florida and did not survive. I loved him. Much will be said and written about Roger Ailes, his power and his influence, the fierce loyalty he practiced and expected, his beginning and his end. I'm not qualified to write his obituary. So rather than try, I want to tell you about my experiences with him, my observations and interactions, and what a profound impact he had on my life. Early on here, when this network was routinely referred to as the fledgling Fox News channel, I was on assignment in Denver, technically working for our affiliate news service, not the channel, because when I was hired here, there was no channel. Hadn't happened yet. My crew and I were at a restaurant and pool hall. I got a page to call New York. Roger Ailes was on the line. That had not happened before. It was frightening. I'd never met him personally. "Smith," he said, "you're doing a good job out there. How's it going?" "Everything's great, Mr. Ailes. We're working hard." "Do you like it here? Do you want to stay here?" My contract was up. "Or do you want to leave? Which is it?" What are you going to say to that out of the blue like that? Of course I want to stay. "Okay, I'll call that agent of yours and sign you up with a channel, and that's it. No more messing around. No more negotiations. Come to New York and see me soon. Keep up the good work." Conversation over. Roger Ailes had just called me, and he wants me to be on his team. I'd never been so excited about a work moment. Now, make no mistake, this gig was hard. We lacked resources of all kinds. We weren't very good at television yet. Everything didn't work. We didn't know how to work everything that did. People laughed at us. "You work at Fox 5? "No, Fox News Channel." "What's that?" "Well, it's like CNN, but it's Fox." "Oh, I've never seen that." Really, it wasn't like CNN. There was an underdog spirit here that was exhilarating, and our leader was inspiring like none other. We worked not for Fox News, but for Roger Ailes, and he was with us in the bunker, fighting for respect and fighting for viewers, fighting to win. Our enemies were MSNBC and CNN. We would conquer them and become the most powerful name in news, and we would do it as a team, and we would reap the rewards from it, all of us, and he fought with us. And as we fought, he would protect us from all comers, and America would be a better place for our efforts. He said it with authority, and he never wavered for 1 second. And because he said it, we believed it. Mostly. It all seemed, frankly, impossible. Roger and I didn't meet regularly in the early years. He didn't like my then agent, so we didn't always communicate very well. As it became clear that our primetime programming was going to serve a conservative audience, I really began rethinking this business relationship. I wasn't a political guy. I was a news guy. Chase the story, gather the facts, add context and perspective, report without fear or favor. It's what I wanted. Is that what he wanted? Roger assured me it was. "We can't have Fox News without the news. Our news will be fair and balanced. And when it's not, you'll be up here in my office and you'll get set straight." That day must be 16, 17 years ago. My dad came up in the conversation. We were talking about how important father-son relationships are. Roger and Beth Ailes had just had a son, Zach. He was the love of Roger's life. Roger wanted to help make America a better place for his new son. That's how he thought. We talked about how close my father and I are, how our relationship had survived and thrived in a messy divorce. He asked question after question about growing up in Mississippi and the events and experiences that had shaped me. Roger was a small-town boy himself. Humble Warren, Ohio roots, no connections to power. Yet look what he'd accomplished. I could too. "Stick to your instincts," he said. "They're good." He told me, "Be fair, treat people well, be happy. Negative people make positive people sick." "Stick with me," said Roger Ailes. "Sky's the limit." And as we finished the 15-minute meeting that suddenly was an hour, as I stood to leave his office, a hug, a big embrace. "Love you," he said. "Tell your father I think the world of you. I want to meet him soon. Go get him." The boss loves me, cares about my father, has a new baby for whom he wants to make the world a better place. It was heavy. It felt important, and I was sold. One random afternoon in the basement newsroom of this building, we got word of a school shooting in Colorado, Columbine High School. I was on a plane in minutes, first network reporter there from New York. We broke format, and I reported nonstop for hours. Skeleton crew, few resources, in the middle of a horror show, talking to kids who just lived it. After a day or so, Roger called, making sure we were okay. He told us our work was being noticed and appreciated. Lots of viewers for the fledgling Fox News channel. Bet your dad's proud of you. Let me know what you need. He'd promote me to anchor and give me some news hours. In the privacy of his office, he told me, do whatever you do in the field, whatever that is. Do that in the studio. I'll tell producers to lay off you. Just do the news, do it straight, and when you get out of line, you'll hear from me. And I did. But he let me do the news. To my face, he encouraged it. Behind my back, managers and others, he railed against it. Get him in line. He's going rogue. My young producer, Jay Wallace, who is now the president of this news network, would often get the blame. He and others took a lot of heat. Yet I was doing exactly what R.A. told me to do. It was complicated. So much here was and is. But it was working. In New Orleans after Katrina, as the calm after the storm quickly exploded, he called me asking, what's happening there? Excuse me, I got to get a tissue. What's happening there? I told him the levees may break and the city may flood, and we may need a lot more resources here and facilities to live without services for a long time. Got it. I'm sending the cavalry. And he did. Don't be a hero and get yourself hurt. I love you. He always had our backs. I think we were first to report nationally that a breach had actually happened. A parish president had seen it, reported it live on local radio. I was listening. I heard it. It was official. I was from that region. I'd covered New Orleans and lots of storms. I knew what that meant. The city would flood. I reported it immediately without telling anybody. We were ahead of the wire services and ahead of the other networks. I later learned that network headquarters here in New York exploded with anger. He's ahead of the story. He's wrong. What's he doing? In America, it was becoming political. In the space I occupied, it was a very local and personal thing. And Roger was torn. The city was destroyed politically. The nation was at battle with itself. My reporting had been seen as divisive and partisan. It wasn't, or shouldn't have been. Roger inside knew that. He spoke against the trouble for the White House. I'd get blamed. While I'm not privy to the details of what he told others, I know it wasn't positive. But with me, it was different. He told me I'd done a good job, and it made him proud. Keep up the good work. It was complicated, as everything here was and is. By now, he has me hosting daytime hours and Fox Report evening newscasts that I would anchor for 12 years. Sometimes the facts were things partisans cheered. Those were the good times. Sometimes the facts upended the faithful. Then it was less pleasant. But he wanted me to deliver the facts. We can't have Fox News without the news. Keep doing it. I love you. Being in the public eye is rewarding, but comes with many challenges. Roger knew that. He tried to prepare me for that and lead me through it. When an extortionist and blackmailer entered my life and the lives of my family, he held my hand and he protected me, and he saw me to the other side. When details of my personal life became public, he supported me. My partner, Gio, and I went to a 4th of July party at his amazingly beautiful home overlooking West Point. He used to say, I'll man the turret if anyone gets near this place. And he had one. We'd not attended a work function, the two of us together, before. As we arrived, Roger and his son Zach and his wife Beth greeted us on a glorious and hot day in the driveway. Beth took my Gio by the hand and gave him a tour of that estate. They'd never met. It was personal, just the two of them. She and Roger treated Gio and me like family. It was a signal to our Fox team and to everyone else that our relationship is a good thing. Respect it. Roger had, and he did. At that event, Roger told the 150 or so friends on hand the history of our nation through the view below us. It was awe-inspiring. They'd arranged for fireworks to celebrate America's birth. We ate barbecue, laughed through the day and the night. I'll never forget it. Through the years, there were crises, some through everyone, some public, some private, many unmentioned to this day. He was my champion and my mentor. My father in Mississippi was there for me, no doubt. He's the greatest man ever. But Roger was a father figure too. We talked of it often. I never left his office, never once, no matter how uncomfortable the overall experience might have been, without finishing with the big embrace and those comforting, telling words from Mr. Ailes. Keep up the good work. I love you. Roger helped everyone in his life, and he never spoke of it. He gave his time and his money and his influence, and he gave his heart. Then last year, we began to learn of another side of Roger Ailes, another part of his life. I didn't believe it could be true at first. This man I so admired, despite our differences. It all came to a head as hundreds of us were in Cleveland for the Republican convention. The accusations were mortifying. All cameras were trained on us, all of them. We were the news. Tears flowed daily off camera, so far from headquarters, confused and helpless, unnerved and under attack. Roger would want us to perform, to serve our audience, and we did, somehow. In our private workspace there, by then surrounded by guards keeping prying reporters away from us, a cell phone was being passed around. Roger was on the line. I took it in my hand and said, "Roger? Hey, how you doing?" His voice was firm and reassuring. "I'm okay, Roger. We're all working hard." There was a private exchange then. And he told me, "Keep up the good work. Keep everybody motivated and on point. We'll get through this. I love you." That was the last we spoke. He left the company, and the rest is history unfolding to the true victims, respect and comfort. It's all so complicated. Everything here was and is as he was. Roger Ailes was a patriot. He was the biggest personality and the most influential and powerful man I ever personally encountered. He changed my life and the lives of everyone in my family forever, for generations to come. He guided me and supported me and protected me, and he told me he loved me like a father. And I love him. To his wife, Beth, his son, Zach, the rest of his family and close friends, sincere condolences and great respect. Roger Ailes, dead today at 77. May he rest in peace.